welcome to the By the Lakeside podcast. I thought I would do something a little bit different today and give you a little tour of my art room slash sewing room slash craft room. So here it is. It is also used by my two boys, so you can see on their side there's lots of Lego, and this is their little workstation, which is hard to keep clean, but they like it and they do homework here. And I've got a little bulletin board, some beautiful prints, which I love, the beautiful leaves of Canada and the pine cones, and this is their little station. So let's have a look at my room. So on this side of the room, we have a TV on the wall, and I have this kind of messy but slightly organized shelving unit, which my father actually built many years ago. He is an iron worker, and he made this by hand, which I love, and I will keep forever. On the top here, I have just some cutout pieces for my project bags. I've got some shipping supplies in these baskets, some printer paper, the TV remotes are there, and then at the bottom here, it's a little bit of a mishmash. This is my first sewing machine, which I've kept because I love. In my first year of university, when I was in fashion, my father took me out and helped me purchase this. So I love this machine. It still works great. And then over here I have a collection of some of my favorite sewing, craft books, and quite a few from school. So the pattern making on the far left, the art of draping. I have a few books here still from school, my textile science book, apparel manufacturing, that kind of stuff. And then I have a lot of fun books here, which I've constantly refer to. So one of my favorites is this one right here, the Lotta Jansdottir. The Weekend Sewing is a really great one. And I've talked about this one too, the Everyday Style book, which I love too. So that is that. Underneath, a little bit messy, I've got more packing supplies. Over by the door, I have a little arrangement of embroidery hoops with fabric, which I had seen many years ago at Pearl Soho. So I have implemented that here. A cute little print up here from Etsy. This is a watercolor on wood that I did for a class that I was taking. And this beauty is from my youngest son, James. It was a really special painting he did for Mother's Day one year. This is just some sheets that are ripped and I need to fix. My closet over here, which has some knitting on the doorknob. This is probably the messiest of the entire room. And I hope I'm not too shaky. I'll back up. So here it's a lot of storage, a lot of mess. I still have a lot of things from probably 20 years ago when I was in school. So I have a lot of supplies still left in my portfolio, some quilts, lots of quilt batting, some old knitting supplies in this basket here, my blocking mats. Oh, these here, one of my first jobs out of school was for the company Escada, and I can't part with some of these. They had a brand called Laurel, but this linen suit, I just can't get rid of them. I love them so much. And I'm pretty reckless with getting rid of things that are old, but these are just beautiful pieces that I don't want to get rid of. Up here is my serger, which I don't use too often. I have good intentions to file. I have a lot of things all in here that need to go into files, and I haven't done that yet. And then these I love. These are from Costco, And I've put labels on them, so I have things sorted, paper craft supplies, sewing, office, art, and crafting. And then just a bunch of other junk and sketchbooks. Even way up there I have all kinds of stuff that I don't want to part with. So that is my sort of messy closet. I have a dress form here from school as well, with a couple of pieces that I don't really wear, but I thought they looked cute and I didn't want to get rid of them. Over here are my Ikea shelves. So I'll back up. And this is usually the backdrop to my podcast, so you're probably familiar with some of it. I will just give you a brief description of what I have in here. So on the top are some of my little treasures. This cute little lamb that my sister had given me. These teacups were actually from my mom's china cabinet, and they were just random beautiful teacups that I loved, and so she gave them to me. I've got a jelly roll of fabrics up here, some thread, another painting in the background by one of my boys. Oh, and one of my favorite pictures. This is my sisters and I when we were little. Up here are some straight needles and a little container of washi tape. So here's where I store most of my fabric. I have tried to keep it somewhat organized. I have blues, browns, greens, yellows, things like that up here. And then I have the pinks and reds, warmer tones down here. I have additional quilting supplies in here and here, lots of extra fabrics. I've got these magazine cases that are holding some magazines that I don't want to get rid of. And these are all scraps and things I want to work on and keep on hand for some patchwork ideas. Up here it's a little bit messy too. I've got all of my zippers and my supplies for washing and blocking knits. So I've got a couple in here, and I've got this flatter spray, which I really love. And then down here I have a few more books, a couple other knitting baskets and supplies. These books are mostly inspiration books for painting and journaling. Down here, more fabric. In here, I have a whole bunch of yarns. So these are sort of the thicker yarns that I have. So I think this is a combination of my DK, chunky, and even bulky. So here's some DK, but I just try to keep them all together by weight. In here I have some random yarns. So I've got some cotton for dishcloths and a couple of other ones, some leftover quints. And this green one here was one that I was practicing, learning some techniques on. Here is a lot of felt. I love felt. So I've got lots of colors in here. And here is my little collection of knitting reference books. I haven't had a lot of time to go through a lot of them, but I really like them. So I'm hoping to some of these new ones over here. The custom socks and the sock architecture are ones that I really want to dive into this holiday season. Over here, I have all of my little tassels that I use on my bags and my business cards and some art supplies. I do love journaling, so I have a little pouch here with my watercolors and some markers, and I really like to spend some time with my journal whenever I can. Here's some more chunky weight, or I think this is some Aran weight that I have. Really nice yarn. Pictures in that box. Right now I'm just storing in my little cedar box. I know it's for yarn or for socks, but I've just got some goodies in there for packages. Down here I have all kinds of art supplies, some paints, different mediums, palettes, and lots of papers that I like to use in journaling. Down here I also have some packaging supplies, some pattern making paper. My Swift is here. And down here, I'll show you another little basket. I love these baskets. I think I got this on Amazon, and it's called the Janet basket. And this is the gray felt version. And it's really great. Oops. Get this. Sorry about that. So in here, I keep a lot of supplies that I might want to use around the house if I want to do some journaling. I do love art. I've got little watercolor sketchbooks, larger sketchbooks, journals, all kinds of stuff. I've even got some coloring books back here. I've got these amazing Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers, which I love. Those are great. I've got another journal, which I really, really like. This is the Rotor Faden, which has the felt inside. I love it. So I just keep random doodles, and sometimes I'll just grab this basket and take it with me downstairs. There's some paint palettes, my really nice pencil crayons that I try to not let the kids use. And I keep some little wipes in here too if it gets messy. So I love this basket. I actually have 2 of those because I love them so much. Another one is actually under my table there, which I will show you in a minute. So let me get up and turn around a little bit so you can get, you can get a look at another side. So here's my sewing desk on another wall. And this is probably my favorite place. I love this desk. It's a simple, kind of inexpensive Ikea configuration and an Ikea chair and Ikea lamps, the bulletin boards, and this really cool metal rack thing. They were both from HomeSense, which is kind of like Home Goods. So this is just my little area of relaxation. I love this space. I really love sitting at my machine, which was recently upgraded this year. So this is my Bernina. I love my machine. It's the B350 Patchwork Edition. I'm really loving it. It's a really great machine. So down here, let's see. So on the bottom here, these are all or mostly knitting related. So just to give you, probably gonna make a mess, but I've got the chart stand. I've got one of these expandable files that I keep all of my printed patterns in for knitting. This is a Martha Stewart accordion file, and then I've also got this little Martha Stewart binder, which I've started. I haven't quite completed, but I've started keeping all of my needles in, so I need to create some labels, but I've got all of my circular needles in here by size. So I've got that in there. I have my rosewood needle set, which I love. I've got my Addy Turbo set, which I also love. And I've recently received this Knitter's Pride, the Royale set, which is beautiful. I'm going to try that out soon. Oh, this is another one of my favorite stationery or planning supply type of things. This is the TGI Mod, which is a leather case. And let's see if I can open it. When I travel for work, this is a really nice piece that I bring with me. It's leather. It's a little bit pricey, but I find it helps to keep me organized. Although I look pretty organized and I love organization, my things get out of control really quickly because I do like a lot of stuff. So this, I love to bring with me. I keep my business cards for work as well as my personal ones. I keep my earbuds in here, pencil. This is my pen for my iPad, measuring tape because sometimes when I'm working, I have to do measurements on garments. some little notes. I would also have my charging cords in here that I could just snap in. There's lots of space for other notepads, pens, and then you can also fit your iPad in here. So I love this case. It's really, really nice. That's a TGI mod. Way in there, I have an old kit from Wool and the Gang that I have not opened up yet. Well, I've looked at it, but I haven't worked on it. In this bag here, I keep all of my brand new sewing machine supplies. So any attachments or pieces that go with the machine are in there. Over here, I have my little scale and my ball binders in here too. And also a DPN case is in there. I've got the Pendleton case, which is nice. And up here, I just have a few little notions and extra needles, threads and things that I use. All of my rulers are up here, my sock blocker, some embroidery hoops. Way up top, this is such a pretty spot I love to stare at. So I've got another jelly roll of fabric up top. I have my little sewing case on the right side with the sheep on it, and they're all knitting. I've got some sewing patterns on the top left. And then the first two cubbies, the 1 and 2, I think they're pretty much all sock yarn, all fingering weight yarn. That's been the yarn that I've been collecting the most in the last few months. And on the right side, I have sweater quantities of yarn. So all of the quints that I've ordered for some projects is all up there. I've got my little inspiration board here with lots of cute pictures of the kids and some alpacas. There we go. My laptop is here, and I've also got some sewing on the go, which you can see some in the works over there, some here. And then I've got the drawers, which are just, I won't go through everything, but you know, just supplies, sewing supplies for the machine, just random punches and things that I've got for journaling, my little Canon selfie printer, which I love, it's so good. I guess I will go through everything. Just random stuff, and some more art supplies down here, chalk pencils, Pantone markers, a beautiful rock that one of the boys painted and gave me. In this corner, I've got a little chair, again from Ikea. I've got some little quilt panels on the wall that I've been working on. And over here is a big basket where I keep all of my project bags, mostly empty. A couple of them might have something in there. Over here is a basket of junk that I need to go through. So some stuffed animals that need sewing, random papers that I didn't know what to do with. That's my little junk pile. And I usually have a lot more of those, but because I knew I was filming today, I did do a quick tidy. And I was having a bit of a hard week, so I find when I'm tired and stressed, cleaning up in here makes me feel better, so I did do a little bit of that. On this wall, I just have a poster and some clipboards with some beautiful paper that I change once in a while. I've got this little end table here with my yarnet, a few books that I really love, and my beautiful Boku pouch, which I bought when I was doing a workshop in their place downtown. Over here is my ironing board. I've got a few things all laid out because I am going to do a podcast right after this, so I won't go through everything that's here, but this is where I do a lot of my pressing, and I love my iron. It's Rowenta, and I think I got this at Target. It's really good. And the boys' corner, where I began. And the last thing I want to show you is one of my absolute favorite things in the room, which is this really amazing packing table. I love it. It's I ordered it from Uline, which is kind of an industrial type of company where, you know, businesses order things from, and this is really a packing table. You can adjust the height. It's got a shelf on the bottom, which has a ton of fabrics and junk, and you can see down there some piles of things. I really love this table. This is where I stand and I cut, or I will sit and do other things. If I'm doing a complicated knitting pattern, I will sit in here and put something on that TV right here. And you can work all the way around it. So I really love this table. You can see here I've got another one of the Janet baskets. And this is usually where I put some more packaging or Etsy shop items. I've got this really cool wooden container that I also got at HomeSense, and I keep in all kinds of stuff. So I'm a big stamp lover. I've got all kinds of stamps and ink, washi tapes, sorry about that, more markers, some of my favorite pencil crayons, and some paint pens back here, all of my cutting, my rotary cutter, my good scissors, my paper scissors, all kinds of stuff over here. My mat. And over here I've got one of my notebooks where I'm planning and using an agenda. And this little bag here is what I use, sort of my planner supplies for the week. So on the weekend, I try to pull this out, and if I have time, I will use some stamps and stickers. I will show you some of my favorites. They are from Kelly Perky. So she has all these really great stamps that are pretty small, and they're really nice to use in your planner. This one is the entertainment set. I think this is the work type set. There was a Thanksgiving set and fall set, which I thought was nice because I love using these in my planner to make lists. The food one, which of course I had to have. Cleaning one. And a shopping one. So I don't use these every week, but I do like them, and when I can, I pull this out, and I'm going to try to do that today in my planner. So that, I think, about covers a little tour of my art room by the lakeside. I've left a little bit of a mess, but I did clean up for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this little peek into my home. And if you have any questions, please let me know. If there's something, I'm not going to link to everything I spoke about, but if there is something that you are really interested in, you can leave me a comment and I will try to let you know where I got it. And if you'd like to share a tour of your own, that would be great. So thank you very much for coming on this little tour with me, and I hope you're having a great week. Bye!